So what do we have here from the engineering department? We got an update from James, a new feature.
Yeah, we have two little buttons here. This one here is for social media, and this one here is to preview how it's going to sound in audio articles. And I love this.
So you could compose the article in WordPress, or you can paste it from somewhere else and just listen to it immediately. You just save the article as a draft. And at that point, the audio article is generated. The way it used to work is that when it was published, that's when we created the article, but they switched that around. The point is that you can preview it right here in the editor. And that is a big step forward towards our long-term goal of having much more like a feedback loop from the publisher, so they're making changes. They're correcting pronunciation, maybe changing the voice that's used for certain sections. There's a lot more things that can be done here. But right now, like I said, this is the first step. So yeah, you could change the voice on a global scale for the article. But what I'm thinking is one day, like if we could have a certain paragraph at a different voice, that might be kind of neat.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Work really well with the block editor because you can a specific block.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's another thing that we should spend more time in. Can we look at this article in the block editor really quick? Something Tyler and I have dedicated ourselves to using. I think, Tyler, have you used the classic editor at all, or are you just using block?
Not when I can help it. I'm trying to get more used to how this thing flows.
Right. Well, one thing that I would criticize the block editor on is actually this image wrapping. I haven't figured out how to do it right. So if you really needed to do an image wrap, you would need this. But I think that what they're actually trying to do is push you more towards full width images is the reason. We've been in here using this, and I noticed just today, is it possible to get it in the block editor too? He's like, I'm not sure. He really didn't seem sure. And here it is. So we are bridging the gap. And when we make modifications on WordPress, we have to make them to both text editors. So keeping things consistent. I guess I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. What Tyler's saying is that the block editor is adding more structure to the document, even more than it has now. When we extract a PDF to HTML, we're giving it a ton of structure, that article, but it's pretty much headline, byline, body. That's as granular as we get with the body. It's just that this is part of the body. So the block editor is going to have every paragraph has its own block, and then it's separated by image blocks and then quotation blocks. We use those a lot, header blocks. And so you're going to be having all this structure, and the quotations would be a natural way to apply the different voices. And if we're using our named entity technology, we could, maybe automatically identify the quotation is from a male or female, apply that type of voice. There's a lot of things here, but this is a huge update. We heard from some publishers on this already. Is that right, Vera?
Yeah, we actually had two. One was Sam. He isn't really the guy who does like the articles, but he's been trying his hand at it to do like pre-roll. This was well before the playlist player came out. And he actually has been experimenting with the different female voices because he has what's called Lady Liberty that reads the articles. Well, if it's something else that isn't pertaining, like a special event or something, he wants another female to read it.
Right.
So he's been exploring the different voices and he loves it because it's just a click of a button and he can change it. That preview button allows him to hear it in real time before actually publishing it and having the changes be permanent or having to go back and change it again. So that saves him some time.
Well, that's great feedback.